Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This is Gail of Gaia, and this is Free Range, where we graze on wild ideas. And I have with me today a very interesting guest, actually, two very interesting guests. We've had one on before, so you know about her. That is Jenny Lee. But we also have on Ileana the Star Traveler, and she's kind of new to me, and I'm so happy to introduce you. And I'll bring you on first. Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Great. And then I bring on Jenny Lee, and we should have a very interesting conversation. Eliana, I would like you to tell us about yourself. You call yourself the Star Traveler, and so people will want to know, what do you mean by that?
So, the Star Traveler is a being that has a light body and a physical body, and it can travel to different galaxies, star systems. I can connect with my past lives. I can travel to other planets. I can even open up star portals. So, I've been putting in order my galactic history of who I am and what I've done galactically. So, I'm connected to the Andromeda star system, to the Pleiades, to the L race. So I'm very much into Earth history and galactic history. So I call myself a galactic historian as well. That's something I've been doing for the last year and a half. I'm also psychic. I'm a remote viewer. I do channeling as well, intuitive channeling, and psychic development, and also energy healing. And I'm also a secret space program experiencer. I have had experiences on Mars with planetary corporations. I remember the holographic medical technology, like what we call med beds or holographic medical pods, working with crystalline technologies on arc ships, and also the starships that Planetary Corp has developed. So that is basically my background, and I also am a abductee. I was abducted by reptilians from the age of 2 to 10 in Ukraine, so in
Ooh,
Israel and Canada. So that's my
wow.
background.
That's quite a history there.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have full memory of your past lives, and maybe not all of them, but many of them are the most. I don't want to speak for you. Tell me.
No, yeah, no, you're right. I have about 80 to 90% of memory recall about my past lives in Atlantis as a geneticist, a mermaid, a crystal healer. Then I have a past life recently that I've remembered 346,000 years ago here on Earth when the Anunnaki were doing their genetic experiments on humans and upgrading human DNA. So I remember the geneticist Ninma or Nurhazad, and she's the half sister of Anki and Enlil. So she was the one that was primarily involved in creating Adam and Eve and Adapa in the Garden of Eden. And also, she had underground genetic labs under her home in her temples. So she had 7 healers with her and scientists and assistants, women that actually agreed to take on the primate eggs of the female primates, impregnate themselves, and combine their DNA with the primate embryos in the Anunnaki female wombs and carry the first Adamic humans. So
Wow.
Nurhazag was part of that. And I
So,
remember I was one of the daughters of Eve. So I remember this happening and being taken in Nimna's lab. So that's a past life
mm,
I remember.
wow, that's fascinating. It's interesting that everybody, Enki gets all the credit for the genetic manipulations, which were to enslave us, but nonetheless, it was why nobody knows that name. Nobody knows her name, Nimna, right?
Well,
Very
she's
few people.
actually in the Sumerian tablets and the texts.
Hmm.
Enki called in Nimna because Enki didn't have the original genetic Holy Grail blueprint. He didn't have access to that. Nimna had the light codes for the DNA upgrades and to physically create to bridge the Anunnaki DNA with the primate DNA. And she worked a long time, almost 1,000 years, on upgrading
Wow.
DNA to put into her helpers. So they had to physically carry the embryos and their fetuses and do live birth of the Adamic humans, and then have them grow up, watch them, and see how they were evolving genetically. So this was a process, and it was 300, like it started 300,000 years ago. And I remember that lifetime 346,000 years ago, when they were monitoring, starting the labs, the genetic labs under the temple, building that for Nimna. So, and then I got invited in as a 12-year-old girl. I had blonde hair, blue eyes, because the Adamic humans had blonde hair and blue eyes. And in this lifetime, as you can see, I have blonde hair and greenish blue eyes. So I've kept my genetics. So this is a recent past life. And the Anunnaki came here 450,000 years ago to Earth in their motherships, colonized Earth to mine for gold to save their own atmosphere of their planet Nibiru. So that's true. But they mine for other things, not just gold. They mine for rubies, other precious stones, as Jenny has seen in sacred sites. So there's so much history concerning the Anunnaki. Enlil was basically the general who was in charge of Earth in these colonization projects to get everything up and running, having the Anunnaki motherships land, colonize the cities, create the cities on Earth. And Enlil didn't want human DNA to be spread with the Anunnaki DNA to be joined. He opposed this, but Anu approved it in a council. And Anu is the father of Enki and Enlil, though Enki has a different mother, and Enlil has the original royal bloodline mother, Anu's wife. So they're two half brothers,
Yeah.
and
Isn't
Anu's sons.
Yeah, okay. Isn't that why Enlil was the inheritor and Enki wasn't? Because Enki married a Pleiadian, I think it was. Is that right?
Yeah, well,
Something like that.
Enlil was Anu's, basically, he was the one to inherit Nibiru. He was the royal one of the royal house. That's why he was the inheritor of Earth. And Enki was responsible for setting up the mining operations for the gold in South Africa, Abzu, Eridu. Those were some of the biggest cities that they created, colonies on Earth. And eventually, the Homo sapiens, what we are now, the Adamic man, became Homo sapiens, and they started intermingling with the Anunnaki, and they were given their own cities. So, but this is a huge history. It spans going back 450,000 years when the Anunnaki first landed here on Earth, then 445,000 years ago when they started creating colonies on Earth, then 345,000, 300,000 years ago where they started the genetic projects with the primates. By the way, the primates, they were here on Earth billions of years ago already. They are original beings living on Earth whose DNA was upgraded for sentient thinking by the Patal, who are 12th dimensional beings who can take on any shape or form because they're energetic. And they gave the energetic upgrades, DNA upgrades to the primates to make them sentient so they could think for themselves. They upgraded their bodies for strength, for muscle tone, to be walking fully upright, and to be able to speak, have clear speech with vocal cords. And that was 65 million years ago.
That's amazing because that kind of fills in a gap that I've often wondered about. Like where in this picture did the Anunnaki actually come in? Because now we have people saying that Enki is our father and that kind of baloney. I mean, I don't want to discredit any efforts that he made, but his efforts were to make us slaves. So I have a hard time feeling really
he was creating us specifically to be a worker drone force to mine the gold, because the Anunnaki were rebelling, the Gigi, who were part reptilian and part Anunnaki, they were rebelling, working in the mines. So the Anunnaki had to go to plan B. And so that's why the Adamic humans were, upgraded genetically. And where the Patal left off, the Anunnaki started tinkering with the genetics, but not through energetic genetics, through actually mixing a lot of Anunnaki DNA with the primate DNA, and also through birth. Nimna actually birthed some of the Adamic humans herself. She chose to carry the fetuses and her 7 helpers, her healers. So it's not just Enki and Lil Marduk. Marduk is actually Enki's son, who became Ra in Egypt and basically conquered Egypt. So basically Marduk was Ra for a couple thousand years. And the Anunnaki were almost immortal. They lived for thousands of years. But they didn't pass that on genetically to the humans, actually. So we don't have their lifespans. That's something they genetically stopped at, that portion. So again, Marduk is Enki's son, and Nimna is the half-sister of Enlil and Enki from Anu, the father.
Wow. Didn't they actually want our lifespan shorter because it's easier to control a slave that way? Then they wipe your memory, then you could get back on here on Earth and you don't remember anything. So you have to learn everything all over again. And
120 years, 120 to 130 years is our current max lifespan. But the humans, Earth humans, can live for 600 years back then. But our genetic DNA, because of the sea, they have chemtrails. They have a lot of things where they've tried to downgrade our DNA through chemtrail stuff and other chemicals and toxins. And frequencies. That's why we currently have 120 years to 130 years lifespan. But back then, in the time of the Anunnaki, humans lived for 300 to 600 years, actually.
There's some examples even in the Bible, which,
Yes, Gilgamesh. So humans back then lived a lot longer. But due to what's, been happening throughout the thousands of years, human DNA has been dumbed down through frequency manipulation and chemtrails and toxins and other things in our water, in our food, in our soil. So being organic and living organic food, organic water, filtering our water is so important to be healthy. That actually helps to extend our life force energy and can help us to live longer.
Aren't we able to hold more light then too?
Yes, we can actually. We have the original Holy Grail DNA blueprint in us, and it's receiving light codes, and we can hold that in, and our DNA is evolving through those light codes. So that's happening naturally. We don't need Enki to give that back to us through medical technology. We already have that within us. We're evolving organically and naturally. That's how it's supposed to be.
Okay. Well, Jenny, do you have anything to add? I've seen a couple of comments about
Enki. Maybe Jeanette's. Sorry. The thing that I get with the whole situation, this was, no one was really talking about this. When we get close to something good for humanity, there's always I call it a dark fleet that comes in and tries to tarnish the goodness. And they're trying to confuse. So everything is precisely planned at this moment to confuse you, because the ones who are presenting this change the rhythm of what they're doing week by week. Spirit and creator is consistent on what you need to do. It does not persuade and go left and all of a sudden it goes right and then it goes left again. There's no way. It's like having a drunk person lead. And so the thing is things are consistent and solid. You know what I'm saying? And so this situation, to me, like I told everybody, it's all about documenting something, verifying, and waiting for it to happen. So society has gotten to the point that people are saying things, but they don't document it. They don't verify it, and they don't wait for it to happen. They just expect you to move on to something else. So it doesn't matter if it's real or not. It doesn't matter if it comes true or not. They just got you so well entertained, they're going to push you to another entertainment area. So I'm kind of over that. And I think Ileana's over it too, because she does the same thing. She documents everything that she does and applies. So the first thing when I looked at this Anki dude, the first thing that Spirit said, Creator said, is universal, useless energy. No one trusts him.
Oh my goodness.
No one trusts him. So it's like,
Okay.
honestly, you think about it. Would you guys trust this guy, this energy? No, because you don't know where he's going to lead you. You don't know what he's going to manipulate out of you. You don't know what he's going to trade you, buy you, whatever. So how would any human think that this is the guy to trust? But it's the psychological, because everybody's following it. So then it must be true. And that's the whole thing that Spirit and conscience has taught us, to think individually, follow through with your instinct, your creativity, and you will see the truth. So here's a picture of Anki again. He is not attractive. He's not that great. He's changed through time. It's not a pleasant picture.
Does he have a ring in his nose?
No, it's kind of like a dog wharf nose.
Oh, okay.
So, and the eyes are very, not identifying what his intentions are at that moment.
Okay.
So it wasn't
Anunnaki,
a high
humanoid
energy. Huh?
bodies. Do they have humanoid bodies? Anunnaki? Are they reptilian or humanoid?
So I see them humanoid because I feel that they can change. They can, if you looked at it and see the image, it would change to whatever your veil of understanding is, to allow it in, to adapt to it. Do you understand? To accept it for what it is. It wants to see your weakness. It's going to show itself what they feel they can use and manipulate in your frequency.
So yeah, and originally the Anunnaki were human with reptilian genetics. The way how Enki and Enlil looked back in history 450,000 years ago, they had black hair, muscular bodies, and extremely green eyes. So you can see the reptilian essence in the green eyes, but they looked human. Now Enki can shapeshift into any form he wants to present you with. For some, he's appeared like a beautiful Adonis with, gold locks of hair and blue eyes. To other people, he's appeared with brown hair and greenish brown eyes. To one of the contactees, he appeared as a bald, gray-looking hybrid / reptilian hybrid, wearing this robe with the flower of life and the genetic code design on it, and had plasma wings and very thin, frail-looking body. So he can appear as anything that you want, that you find attractive, qualities, how you see him. Now, right now, in his current embodiment. And he's siphoning human galactic DNA from contactees, women especially, and taking their DNA on his mothership, reverse engineering it and using it for weird purposes, their own genetic projects, and trying to take down the Galactic Federation of Worlds by trying to infiltrate their DNA coding system, which actually acts as protection for their ships. You have to put your hand on a DNA scanner to gain access to piloting these ships through the navigation systems. So Enki gets that DNA from the contactees, reverse engineers it, and boom, he has access to all the Galactic Federation of Worlds craft to pilot them through his own, proxies. So it's energetic warfare.
Wow.
And that's the thing. If you ask, and most what Spirit teaches me, I want to see something at its original form. If your veil of understanding can accept their original form, they will always show their original form. But if you want to see it as a prince, and that's what he's going to manipulate you thinking it is, and that's what it's done, and so if you identify and you ask, I need to see your original form, trust me, they won't be riding this parade. They'll be backing off, knowing, because those energies have a smell to it. They have a scent to it. It always pulls on the left side of the body, the soul. You can feel it, but you're being programmed on the left side telling you, no, it's okay. But you need to listen to your own instinct when this stuff happens. And then talking about it and being fully loaded with alcohol, it's not, that's like a dream for Enki, So, I mean, you're in flesh needs. Those are perfect devices, drugs and alcohol to step right in. So I'm just saying there's a certain lower level of understanding that he would love to come in and manipulate. You notice he doesn't go after the strong. Just saying.
Yeah, he didn't go after me because I was supposed to do a channeling project to channel Enki, and Source Creator, who's Prime Creator, God, Spirit, whatever you want to call it, came in and said, no, you do not want the energy of Enki possessing your body like it's happening to some other people in the community. They've been possessed by the Enki energy, unfortunately, and they're presenting the second coming of Enki, that the Anunnaki are here to return us, to save us, bring back the holy DNA blueprint, the original one, that they were the holders and the keepers of. No, they weren't fully the holders of that. The Patal gave us that, actually, not the Anunnaki. So, and basically what I learned is that Enki is after human energy. He's after our human DNA for their own nefarious agendas and purposes. Enki is neither good or bad. Enlil is neither good or bad. They have their own agendas. They have their own survival mechanisms. They always had. They came to Earth because their atmosphere was failing on Nibiru. Anunnaki are Niburians, Syrians. They come from Nibiru, their original planet, which has actually been repurposed for something else. Not all Anunnaki live on Nibiru. They live on other planets. So they came here specifically looking for gold and other precious minerals like rubies to mine, to save their own atmosphere, to create nanoparticles out of the gold and relayer their atmosphere to stay in orbit and keep themselves alive. Those were their needs, their wants. They came for survival. So they were out to survive. And that's why they genetically engineered humans. It's not to give us life and to make us free. It was to serve them, to be their worker drones for thousands of years. And then when they were done, some of them went underground and some of them left the planet. So it's a complex history.
Wow.
And there's no loyalty with them.
Yeah.
You are not valued in any way. You are just a used tool. And if that's something you want to follow, your destination, that's what's going to end up in the situation, so, and it's almost like the positive, negative, whatever deal you made to have people push towards that direction, you made the wrong deal. And so that will always be seen in the light, and the truth will come out eventually, because how you're hurting humanity and how you're bringing them down, and how at their time that they can rise above all of this and think on their own, process on their own, be their own beings, you're trying to dumb it down again. It's not going to work.
When I saw that picture of Enki, the thought that came to my mind, I said, was he an adrenochrome drinker? Just from the looks of it, But anyway,
well,
they managed to.
The reptilians actually drink human blood and eat humans. So the original reptilians, the white Dracos and the royal Dracos, they ate humans once upon a time. So I'm not sure if Enki ever drank that stuff from the Kool-Aid, but the reptilians did.
Wow. Nope. Okay, I just wanted to put this one thing up from Michael Tal about that. People are confirming what both of you are saying about the Anunnaki. And are you in agreement with Ishmael?
Yes.
Both of you?
I think Ishmael, Source Creator, works through Ishmael to deliver messages for us. And I don't agree or disagree with anybody. I'm a neutral party. I seek the truth. I look for the truth. I'm also a researcher, not just an experiencer or psychic. So I look at everybody's soul for truth. And I think Ishmael is sharing a truth that Yes, Anki became cybernetic, and he went and had nanoparticles, and basically has had nanotechnology in his body. Source Creator showed me this in the intuitive channeling. There's nanites inside Anki, so he's not fully biological or organic. And they created nanoparticles to layer their atmosphere to save their planet Nibiru. That's why they needed the gold. That's how you create nanoparticles.
At humanity's expense. They didn't care that what they did to us, as long as they got what they needed.
Yeah,
And then took
exactly.
off.
Yeah, so Ishmael is sharing stuff that we need to know about Anki. And again, if you're trying to create perpetrators in history, good or bad, Enki versus Marduk Enlil, they're neither good or bad. They each played sides and agendas, and they had their experiments going, and they were doing their own thing. Enki is not the creator and the father of humanity. He did not create humans. They were there before.
I think that's important. That's a very important point that we needed to make here about that, because that's what's been going around, and I know that's just not the case. Nor did he have anything to do with our soul whatsoever, our spirit, I should say. But anyway,
So I think this is a question everybody's asking, and I think me and Perez had a conversation. I can see the downloads that go in him, and people don't understand the speed of energy, the speed of downloads, how fast they can be. And I get it. I actually get it. And so to me, it's normal. And to others, it's not, because they haven't seen it. But it's been in history that way too. He's just opened, and it's instant for the information to come in instantly. And so I respect him on that, because you guys gotta understand, true channelers, we do not know what we're going to say in the next 2 minutes, because we have that trust built up so good. We don't doubt what they're bringing into us, and the facts and the truth show it. That's the whole thing. So when you're seeing these channel people and they're taking forever, that shows that there's a limitation of their trust with that channel that they're connecting to. But Ismail's, it's boom, boom. And that's why people are like, I don't understand.
you
It's because
connect
you haven't
like
seen
this,
it in a
right?
long time. Yes, it's like that.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and Enki's connection to the soul, he can possess energetically people's souls, and you become his proxy, and you're doing his work through him. It's an energetic programming game. If you invite him in, you let willingly get abducted to go on their motherships for genetic experiments, and they collect your genetic DNA. They have a part of your soul essence. Their frequency is connected to your soul frequency, and that's how they control you. It's an energy warfare trap. It's energy traps. So that is what Anki is doing to humans. You agree to go on the ships. You agree to participate in their program. You connect to Anki. He has your soul field signature, and he can tap into it anytime, watch through you, control your body. You'll be doing weird things. You'll be dressing differently. You'll be acting differently. And whenever he chooses to give you back your free soul will control of your body is when he chooses. Why would you want to be somebody's soul property? By
Because
consenting.
society has made us weak. Society has pushed this programming that has made humans weaker. And a long time ago, they were stronger individuals and very independent. And now we gave everything, and now it's our natural instinct is not kicking in the same way. And we need to go back to being strong in that voice that says something, and we go, no, I shouldn't. You should. You should.
Yeah.
So we need to go back to those raw instincts of being truthful about things.
And I think people, it's what you think, what you eat, what you drink, what you breathe. All of that comes into play, because the more toxic you are, the more it's like trying to move through muddy water or something like
Right.
that. You might get there or get a signal, but it's not going to be very clear. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know. You agree with that?
Yeah, the signal is this. free, sovereign human beings, free will, free choice. You agree to something, you participate in something because you agree to it. Like some people who are, promoting this Anki Second Coming. Lisa Renee warned us in 2018 that the Anki armies were being gathered and they were targeting males at that time. They work through your ego. They work if you want attention, if you have mass media, YouTube channels, if you have huge following, Anki will happily invite you in to participate, enhance you, make you more popular, feed your ego, and work through you. So Lisa Renee wrote about all of this, warning us in the Ascension glossaries in 2008. And Analia Benz, actually, through a psychic sort of a psychic warning, she tapped into the Anunnakis and what they are in 2014. And she said they're returning because they want their drone workers back. They want to continue genetically engineering our DNA further for their own agendas, and that they had dissonance in their energies, and that they wanted the precious minerals, the rubies, to mine that in sacred places on earth, which Jenny has seen. So that's what the return of Anki is all about.
Yeah.
So
and
they're returning for the same old thing.
well,
Yeah.
A modernized version of it, turn us into AI or whatever it is.
Well, I think it's always been. I mean, you guys got to understand that all our universe, everybody thinks it's gold, but there are many planets out there with a ton of gold. You think it's gold? It's not. It doesn't make any sense why everybody wants to surround themselves around this planet. And, I actually did this channeling to go up because somebody was criticizing the Pleiades, and they're like, oh, no, they're guarding this. There's no way that they're jeopardized. The Pleiades are a different energy. They work in light. They don't have no value the way we see value. Their value is light and serving it completely. And so when I didn't expect to get this information, and it was just laid upon me. And when I do it, I draw it. And so I'm coming out with more of it, but I want to be more of a description, but this is kind of what it's showing right here. So this is land, and this is rubies. And so if you kind of look at this, they keep us out of areas. They keep us away from certain things, and then they put names on land areas, like kings and queens want to put their name on. They think they have that ownership, but they don't. It's because it's going to go back to the original people again. And so now it's going to be exposed in the true jewel of it. And maybe some of these crystals, rubies, have its own conscience, and it's a mechanism. So, and the thing is, because everybody says, well, science, you can't rely on science. You can't rely on science anymore. You can't rely on NASA no more because they're all liars. So you have to use your own instinct and go up and get the truth and match. And I'm all about matching it up. And as soon as I started looking at it, the information, all this is matching up. This is looking very suspicious of everything that's downloaded. So this is a big one. So to keep us away, to keep us dormant, to not ask the questions. But let me tell you, gold and silver, no, there's something bigger here. And this makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because in my past life as Calypso, when I was an architect in Egypt building the Giza pyramids and also a priest, I hid ancient technology with red ruby refractory, where I put red rubies in a telescope. So the rubies act as a refractory mechanism to take down cloaking on other planets, so you can see the bases, the secret bases. It decloaks the holographic frequency of the cloaking devices on the bases through the refractory ruby technology in the telescopes. And boom, their shields go down and you can see everything on the planets. I hid that technology in the arcs in the Egyptian Hall of Records, where there's art technology there as well, in those halls of records and under the Sphinx and under the pyramids, under Giza. So again, that confirms Jenny's stuff that rubies are indeed very precious, because if you put it in advanced technology, it shows things that are hidden from humans.
Yeah, and the volcanoes, many volcanoes, if you put it in the perfect climate, and then it's, all that has to go to a certain area. And once it goes up to a certain area, it's just a natural way things happen. And then you come upon this, and this would explain all these other beings trying to get in here. What are they really after? Everybody, you hear the same answer. It's, they're after the humans, or after this. And I'm like, I'm not buying it. Something's bigger. And they showed it. And not by the fact that I wanted to go up there and get that information. I was up there for another information. And now this is totally blown my mind on now having to download all this and give this detail out. But looking geographically, and I'm seeing things line up with this. And this is, remember when Trump said, you have no idea how much we have and what we're worth. And I think he's telling you without telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, and our human frequency and energy is worth a lot. Our genetics is being traded in the cosmos.
Well, don't they? They're still wanting to hack the God code too. And
Yes.
that's something that's very unique about humanity that everybody wants a piece of. And so far, they haven't been successful. And
yeah, because the living libraries on Earth, the plant life, the humans, the vibration, we were seeded here specifically to be the perfect organic human, not to be interfered with. So the universal libraries that are here on this planet is part of the genetic experiments and the projects. Like Atlantis was a genetic huge project. Meldakians, the Pleiadians, the Syrians, the Andromedans, the other beings were involved. The Batal, there were so many different races involved. The Lyrans, they had colonies here on Earth. Lemuria, Syrians, so they all had colonies here 2 million years ago. When Jenny and I remote viewed Atlantis, what did we find? A lot of genetic experimentation, a lot of different ET groups living in their own colonies, in their own bases underground on Earth, underground. There was also the mermaids that came from other worlds. They were portaled here. The whales, the dolphins, they all have a higher consciousness because they volunteered to come here to create a perfect humanoid body to participate in this genetic experiment. So this goes back millions of years ago. It's not just humans did not come to Earth 200,000 years ago. We're much older than that.
So the thing that I would be saying to people, really step out of the box on this. Forget about, what society is telling you. Do your own research. Start looking at things that aren't making sense. I mean, what's under the ocean and what they're finding? What's under volcanoes that they're finding? What's under ice that they're finding? Because our history is hidden underneath the crust, like Spirit has told me, and it's going to surface. And you better be ready for all the lies, because science is going to be, and UFO is going to be, or not UFO, but NASA is going to be out the door too. So it's
never a straight answer.
Got to get to the point of understanding that we've been lied about a lot of stuff, and you need to think outside the box on your own and look at this stuff, and pay attention.
Pay attention. It's focus on your feeling, not just the information. Like when you're hearing the information, how is it making you, how is it resonating, that kind of thing. You really need to tune into that so you can use your heart-mind connection to discern.
Right.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
And trusting yourself with, some people are remote viewers, some people are channelers, psychics. Trust what you see in your ability. Like April 23rd, 2022, I did a remote viewing. I went to the Baltic Sea to see if it's true, the information about that Ark ship. Is it under the Baltic Sea? Yes, it was. I saw a huge Ark ship, ancient Ark ship from one of the founder Cedar races. It was deep underwater. So the Baltic Sea is not as shallow as people say it is. And I released that remote viewing. It's in my previous book. And today I found an article that they found that object, that UFO object under the Baltic Sea in 2011. It was recorded on sonar. It's a round-shaped object. It's huge, and it's made out of metallic properties that don't come from this earth. So it was found, but nobody talked about it. It was quietly swept under the rug as some kind of a structure, maybe natural, maybe not. Nobody investigated it further. The divers just left it. And some of the contactees and the experiencers have been talking about going under that Ark ship and exploring it. Some of the military guys have said, we've been there, we've gone there. So it exists, it's real, but it was found in 2011. I'm like, oh, facts, going into my new book. Here's some evidence.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you on board with what is being said about as our frequency goes up, so does the our ability to ascend to a higher frequency? I don't like to use the word ascension after I hear that most people think that means you passed away. So but anyway, you know what I mean. Where do you think we're at? Are we, where do you think we're at from a frequency standpoint on the planet?
Okay, I'll talk about this because I teach this, and I know Ileana does too, but this is the thing. Each person has a veil of understanding. You don't just get a free ride to go up and everything's at a perfect balance. If you are not open to these vibrations, if you are not open to these frequencies, you're not going to see anything. So the lower frequency are not going to be the same as the higher frequency, because with a higher frequency, it's going to go in you smoothly and you are going to adapt to it smoothly. These other ones are going to have problems at this low veil of understanding. You can't just, it's not like society. We just think, we'll just feel sorry for everybody because they didn't do their work and you'll just go along with everybody else. It's not going to work that way. What you have done here, how the work you have done, what you have done to awaken yourself to the situation, that is your value of where your frequency is and how far you have raised your frequency. So I think, we're at that 4D door. And because all of us that have been doing the work, we're feeling it. We're feeling it daily. We're feeling it minute by minute. And you can talk to these people, they're not even, they're paying attention to their phone, but they're not even paying attention what's going in their environment, around them, up above, the sky, everything. It is literally inside you. If you decide to pay attention to it, you will see the 4D. And if you decide to look at the 3D view, that's all you're going to see and feel.
Yeah, I usually see things. My vibration goes up to 5D and above, and I can see beyond 3D. I can remote view anything that I want. For example, someone was just asking, have I remote viewed the Ark ship under the Arctic? Yes, I've remote viewed it under Antarctica. I've been in that facility. And yeah, that ancient Ark ship is there, circular, long. There's blue beings in the stasis pods inside the Ark ship. I can physically go there and see it. I didn't open any of the pods because those souls are still alive and they'll awaken one day. Yeah, I saw them. Yes, I saw the Atlantean outposts. They're connected to these Ark ships. Everything is so interconnected. There's Ark ships on Neptune as well. There's a memory DNA coded Ark ship above Venus that I've been on recently, where it holds everything Akasha that is part of this universe and part of this particular solar system. And you put your hands on this liquid crystalline energy frequency, and it shows you memories of Akashic records, planetary histories, your own history, past lives, future lives. That's on a Venusian Ark ship above Venus. They're excavating Ark ships on Venus, the Venusians. That's something else that I saw, a silver Ark ship being excavated from the ground.
Wow. Have you had this ability since childhood to see things and to? Um, I mean, I know you do extensive research, but I think um, you go past that.
Yeah, I go way past that. I've always
Yeah.
been intuitive as a kid, but I've studied officially remote viewing. I've taken courses. I've studied astral travel. I've studied Akashic records, psychic development. I've put in, like Jenny has said, I've put in the work to raise the frequency of my abilities to a different vibration, to beyond 3D, to 5D. So what I see is from a 5D perspective, not from a 3D perspective of just things and objects. I see energy. I interact with frequency. So I interact with source creator quite a bit, which is prime creator, which is the creation of all energy, and it multiplies and it creates. It creates other creator beings that continue the creation. So I'm connecting to 5D and above for what I see and how I interpret things. And I back it up by doing the good old fashioned research on top of it, because originally I was a library technician. I was a researcher. That was my full-time job before I became
you know
a
where
healer.
to find things.
Yes, I do. I can dig for hours for information on ancient history. I'm in different forums, platforms. I created my own algorithm which tracks information. I put in a few keywords. It finds me the most ancient things that are not on the surface of the internet searches. It gives me behind the intranet stuff through this algorithm. So, plus I do good old fashioned research just on my own, searching keywords, because the internet is a library highway. You don't physically have to go into the library and browse all the books, which will take forever.
You know what I was thinking the other day? They're talking about replacing this internet with another internet. But if you think about it, I was thinking we have a matrix outer net, and now we also have an internet. They get us both ways, from the outside and the inside. It's weird.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, I think this internet is pretty fine the way it is, and the internet has to be free access to everyone anytime to search for things. Free will choice allows us to search and find true information. As long as we know what we're looking for and use keyword terms, we can find true history. My book is going to be 2 volumes because there's so much history on Anunnaki, Galactic Federation of Worlds, Patal,
Who are
and
the
other
Patal? I
history.
had never heard of them before. So if you don't mind, where did they come from?
They are the original creators. They are the original creation energy that created this universe, the known universe that we live in. This is our universe. So they created that. They're pure energy beings, 12th dimensional. So they
Yes,
were,
they are.
yeah, they were never in human bodies, but they can create corporeal bodies. They're light beings. They're light bodies. That's how they exist. So they exist on 12D, 12 density. But they can come and lower their frequency to 3D and higher and create human bodies for themselves. They had to come into 3D energy form to be on our planet to energetically upgrade the primates that were already on that planet. So that's what they are, and they created our universe. They're founders. They're one of the founder races, or the Seers, as you will.
Seers, yeah, that's Patty Broussard says that a lot. Someone said that Patty and Drake said something about Inky being a good guy. Well, I don't recall Drake ever saying that, and I haven't heard Patty say that either. So I don't know if that's entirely true.
Well,
but I would, obviously beg to differ after.
Again, Enki can present himself as the good guy or the bad guy to you. He can present as anything to you. It's really like not falling into a program trap. The good guy, the bad guy. They're neither the good guys nor the bad guys. Again, they can be anything you want them to be because they have an agenda and they want something from you.
Yeah, and they always do.
Yeah, they did 450,000 years ago, and they still do. They're immortal. They're
coming back for more.
Yes, they live for thousands of years, and they can jump bodies. Energetically, they can keep their memories and just incarnate in different human bodies and continue on with their work. In human bodies, in energetic form, they exist on 3D and above. Their ships are more than 3D. They can create any virtual holographic simulation for you to make you think you went on Nibiru when you actually went on one of their genetic motherships. So it's not what you think it is. It's much more.
They know how to manipulate the mind.
Yes, they are mind tricksters. They are manipulators of the soul frequency energy, the mind, the physical body. They can make you think whatever they want. They can appear as anything that they want to you. They live for thousands of years. So a human body is nothing to them. They change frequency, they change appearance. They can change anything in your reality, in their own.
So I'll give you a picture of the creators. This is what Ileana is talking about. See, they have energy that flows through them and instantly. They are a light frequency. You can't get near him because the energy is so strong. So, and light, to just take a human eye and look at these. And it's just the whole thing. These are one of the over creators. And everything about them is power. They're not in the ego. They are just in knowing the existence that they are. And things that we think are difficult are very simplified for them.
Yeah, they can come down to 3D and change genetics of a primate species and then go back to their 12th dimension. They can create ships, they can create energy, they can create physicality and alter it, and then dissolve that and go back to their own 12th dimension and not need any of those tools that they created to do a project here on Earth. They just go back to their own existence and leave what they created to continue to organically and naturally evolve to its highest potential.
Yeah, and it seems to feel like when you go up to, I call them as their courts, and you present information to them, I got to tell you, it's just what we're doing here seems so small compared to what is going on universal. So I don't go up unless it's got to be something severe, because you don't call wolf, call wolf, call wolf. You just don't do that. It has to be severe before you would step up there and waste their time.
That makes a lot of sense. Somebody's asking, is Ishmael CIA? I don't think so. No. Thank you.
I don't get that energetically. I don't get that he's CIA at all. He is a energetic frequency to give us the truth, comfortable or uncomfortable truth. He is here to speak what is going on and why. Is it always presented in the most kindest way? Sometimes it's very straight in your face, up front. Bam, he delivers it. You take it or leave it, whatever you want. That's up to you.
Well, I think what gets people sometimes is that he delivers it like he's an encyclopedia almost. It's
that is the downloads. That's the downloads.
Holy smokes, where are you getting all this from? How do you remember all that? Yeah, that's got to be downloads. Yeah, I mean, it just keeps going and going and going and going.
Yeah, he is an energetic archival program frequency. He has that ability. He runs codes, uploads, downloads. The information goes boom, 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 boom. He is an energy frequency for that. That's how he gets his info. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody does it in their own way. Yeah. I get a lot of information up, 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 down, 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 and it flashes in front of my eyes. And I'm like, okay, compartments here, here, here. This goes here, here, here. And I organize it in my books and my videos because I can't just keep it in my head. If it spins too much in my head, I need an outlet. So I always write it down, put it in videos, share it.
Wow.
Yeah, we can't ever hold it in our brain. We always have to download it, put it in a file, or record it, because that's what we are. We're filters of information, but it has to be resigned to somewhere so we can recall it back. And then when it applies to that situation, our instant mindset just knows where it lays within seconds. So it's like, I would call this a fine universal system within your mind, and each ability comes in and it explains it in a very soothed way, but there is a balance with everything, and it's not hard concept to understand. It is if you're looking at it from the other view, but it's not. It's very comfortable.
Mm-hmm. And we each have our mission to share truth in whatever ability we have. And Jenny, Ishmael, me, we're here to share the truth. We're here to help discover what real reality is and going beyond 3D.
And it's fantastic that you do that, because it's extremely helpful for people. Because even when you say to people that they need to do the work, you have to be cognizant of the fact that there's no way that somebody that's just starting to learn some of this is going to go anywhere near your levels of comprehension. They just,
No.
it's just,
This is a lifetime. This is a lifetime before we were even here. There's programs that were already developed within our mindset. And that's the thing. These ones that have been doing it since the moment they were told to be here and they were seated here, they have been dealing with the bruises, the scarring, the knives. It doesn't matter. We stay on that path. So it's not like what you've seen in the last 5 years. All of a sudden, all these people are all of a sudden waking up, the ones that have been doing it. They've only, that's changed because they see it as a money machine now. But the ones that have been doing it for decades and years, you know what I'm saying? It's just you're seeing the difference, because all you have to do is look at their history. Look how long they've been doing it. Look how long they've been consistent on their target. That'll tell you the truth right there.
Yeah, and again, testimony, experiences, they don't just change overnight. They're consistent. You don't make up the newest galactic soap opera that is sensational, that's attractive. If the story is consistent, if the history is consistent, that's the people that are the genuine experiencers. If you create over the top things, then as a researcher, I start asking questions. Why is it today something so over the top, so attractively interesting? Why? What is behind that? What is the experience? What is the story? What is the person going through? Why are they presenting it this way? Do we need to hear it? Do we need to listen to that? Is it real or not? I love to test what is real and what is not. And so does Jenny.
Right. And even if it makes people feel uncomfortable, and that's the thing about me, I will not persuade on my agenda. If spirit tells me to speak it, I'm speaking it, no matter what comes at me. I don't care, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, same. I mean, I had Jenny on for a channeling. What is Anki? What did he do? What were they up to? What are they doing now up there? We did this together, and boy, the answers were shockingly revealing, and we didn't know what the answers would be. I had my audience compile 32 questions for Jenny. And
oh, wow.
we did this for almost 2 hours.
I didn't get a chance to see that. I'll have to watch it. This should be interesting.
And it came out that Anki was not the original DNA source creator, that he had help. It wasn't him that did it. Nimna helped him with it, and others created us, the Patal. So there's more than just the Anunnaki.
Yeah. Well, what about all the other, 22 different DNA contributions to what about all those races, and their contributions? So they would have to be credited too, not just Enki.
Yeah.
And,
I don't know, Ileana knows about this too, but I think the newest scam that I'm seeing, I'm just going to say this, is you're seeing these people that all of a sudden they can upgrade your DNA. They can't do nothing. Don't pay for this. Do not put your money behind it, because you yourself have to do the work yourself. No one can do it for you. You can't pay someone to upgrade you. It is a big fraud corporation. Do not fall for that trap.
And don't go up on Enki ships, because if he tells you, I can upgrade your DNA, just volunteer, sign up for go up on my genetic ship. He has 2 motherships. So that he's been kicked out of, so he can't do this to humans, women, and men. If you agree to abduction, you will be abducted voluntarily. So don't agree to go up on their ships either, because then they have access to your genetics. They have access to your soul frequency. They can track you and beam you up anytime. They don't need physical implants anymore. They can do it through etheric energy. vampirism, collecting your source field energy and tracking you. 100%. That's what Anki is doing to certain contactees right now, live.
All you have to do is walk in a bar. It's perfect opportunity.
Or he'll come to your house and take you up. Go for a visit with me. Come see. Let's go. Flower of Life. Want to know about the Flower of Life? I'll tell you. Want to know galactic history? I'll tell you. But it's booby trapped with energy traps. That's what the attachment is.
So I see the question you have about Pleiades, and this is the reason why I feel like this is starting, is because we're at a point that everything's good, and now you take the one thing that's like the best thing out there that's working with us, and you tarnish it, and you have one person that doesn't have the capability of understanding, and bring that down. That's a program. That's a program to bring something down. And these beings have been here a long time, and they're trusted in a high way. And so you got this tarnish coming in at the last minute. Well, let's just take that down with us because you're astral traveling. Well, astral traveling is just a basic realm. There is way much more up there, and I don't do that. I go way above that and see it down from the truth. And so I just think that that's a program, and that is not going to last long because the truth will always be seen. And we know it. It's just something that they're spinning again to bring something down. And because we're at this point, if these beings show up, let's freak them out at the last minute and make them run the other direction. It's wrong. I'm like, you're going to use them? I mean, through our years and decades, have you ever heard of anybody saying anything about the Pleiades bad?
No, I'm part Pleiadian.
Well, I will say Patty says that there's 7, I could have these number of races. There's 7 different Pleiadian races, and only 2 of them are good, and the rest of them are bad.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. That's just hearsay. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not.
And that's why I went up. I go, I need to know this. And they're like, no. And it just for what they do, it's not just for the human, it's what they guard, what they protect, it's trusted all the way to source. And that's where you see these alien levels, and everybody thinks down here, everything's happening down here. Let me tell you, it's big, way above that. These aliens are not in charge of what you think they are now. They are not. It is affected from the creator to the overcreators now. They're observing everything. And the makers are not going to move until they are told that things need to be done. I'm just telling you. So if you're seeing it from an astral travel view, yeah, you're going to see it that way. But if you're seeing it from a view way up there and looking down, you built your credit with them. You built your ability. You've done what they told you to do to be able to observe it from a different view. But right now, every person that's trying to knock down the Pleiades, I will confront them because that is wrong.
Yeah, the Pleiades are the 7 sisters where the cradle of life happened. Many human-seeded worlds are there. We came from the Pleiades. They had colonies here. A lot of us are Pleiadians. I'm half Pleiadian. My genetics is Pleiadian, half Andromedan, Pleiadian, L race. So they were part of the 22 genetic projects: Pleiadians, Andromedans, Lyrans, Syrians, Meldakians, Patal, Atlanteans, so many of them, much more. Even reptilians played a role. Yes, they did. They altered human genetics as well, because everybody wants our genetics. It's so energetically high-packed. Our genetics can upgrade other ET genetics and improve them and make them much more vibrationally higher frequency.
Let's bring this one up, Jenny.
Huh?
Yeah. That somebody is asking or saying this directed to Jenny. Anki was the bad guy, and now Michael Sala and Alex Collar are believing Ileana Danan and says Anki is a good guy. Which is it? It's obvious. I mean, you said it once already, but for those
the thing is, this is what if I had talked to Ileana Denon, I say, let me see your rough draft. Let me see your rough pictures. Let me see your channeled information. Because all I see is something you would put in a magazine. Let's show the public the rough draft. I bet she won't do that. But I'm asking her to.
Yeah, and sorry, she willingly agreed to be abducted by Enki to go visit the ships. It was a free will choice agreement to interact with Enki. And that's how it starts. If you want to be abducted, if you want to be part of the Enki programming second coming, he has your energy. He has her energy. He has her DNA. He's collected it. He owns her soul. He can possess her anytime he chooses and play around with her and make her tell us messages. Are we going to believe everything that Enki gives her? Your choice, free will choice, what you want to do. Who you want to listen to, interact with. If you love her, so be it. If you follow her, so be it. She's a human being manipulated by Enki. It's not good or bad. It is an agenda. It's energetic warfare. That's what's happening to Miss Ileana Denon, unfortunately. We're keeping it real here, and Alex Collier and Sal are following and siding with that narrative. So be it. They've made their choices. So be it.
That's such a shame. Yeah. I had her on, and I really liked her and enjoyed her. And I'm sorry that this has happened to her. But
Well,
like you said, free will choice.
You had her on before this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a change in energy frequency. Not everybody stays the same. So if you catch them at a good time when they're vibrationally good and balanced, and if that message was positive and pleasant, great. It depends where they are in their life frequency and who they're connecting to. Source Creator told me, do not channel Enki unless you want to be possessed by Enki. Unless you want to represent Enki, don't do it. So I'm like, okay, how can I access the information, what Enki is doing to Ileana and others right now, real time? I will show you intuitively. Intuitive channeling through Source Creator showed us what this mess is all about. It is an energetic warfare to steal our DNA, to spread this program that they're going to upgrade our DNA, probably going to make us AI, infect us with something, nanoparticles, whatever. And then what are we stuck with? Original DNA blueprint. We have this. Cherish what you have genetically because it's already beautiful the way it is, and it's upgrading through the light codes, not through medical holographic beds that the Galactic Federation of Worlds is going to share with us because Enki gave us the holographic technology from Nibiru. No, he didn't. No, he's not. That's not happening. That's part of the programming, the messaging going forward by Miss Denon. Sorry, that's not how it is.
Wow. I didn't you have some information on med beds as well? Because that's something that everybody's been asking about, and it's not exactly what people want to hear.
Yeah, medbeds are not coming to Earth holographic medical pods anytime soon. That is still how it is, because that is classified technology that Planetary Corp owns on Mars. I worked in the cybernetic labs. I saw this technology. I was not allowed to use it on myself. It was only used on the super soldiers to heal them, not on the worker like me. I was just connecting the holographic aspects of the technology to the medbed to see how it functioned, that it didn't screw up your DNA, that it didn't kill you, that it actually healed you, because it can be programmed to heal or to kill, either or. It's just a technology. How you use it, is how it works, good or bad. It's not coming to Earth. It's classified secret space program, Planetary Corp technology on the Mars basis in the cybernetics labs. Even Jenny had a look at the med beds and what
Yeah, I draw them. I know what they look like.
Oh,
And there's several types of different med beds. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to share one of your pictures?
Let's see if I can find them. I think I got those in a different file, but I think people have seen them before. But I mean, there's some that are you stand up in them, and and then some of them, like they showed different beings can get around them. They're not humans. That energy can go right through them because they're able to adapt to that energy. So there's different types for different situations, but that's what they showed me about them.
Hmm.
I don't think I have them around.
So the
here.
chances of being 30 years younger and
30 years younger.
all those good things, I'm probably not going to make it.
Don't you just
Well-
want to get out of the body anyway? Who wants to keep it? That's what I'm saying.
Well, if it
No,
can
I
somehow be transformed into something much
Well-
younger, I wouldn't mind.
eat right, work out, energetically be at a high vibration, meditate, and you'll look younger and feel younger. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Don't get jabond. Be organic. Be pure. You can look younger. I'm 37. Do I look it? No, I don't, because I eat right, I exercise, I walk, and I energetically meditate and keep my frequency good. That's why I look the way I look. That's it.
Well,
Nothing.
What?
And
How
I'm
old did you say you were?
Okay, I found a couple. I found one.
37. I am 37.
37.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay,
I'm
here's one.
Can you raise? Can you
70.
go? Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. You look good, Gail.
So
You
the
don't look
energy is all the
70.
way. The energy is all the way to the floor, and then they go up. So, like I said, it's almost like when you see the Prime Creator and all that. You can't get close to these med beds around it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then they have standalones where you're standing up in them. It's the same thing. It's just you have to be a certain vibration to get near them, or it'll zap you. So, I draw them, but I'm not the one that tells you when they're going to be here.
Yeah. People ask me, are they coming anytime soon? No, they're not. I don't see med beds here in the 2 years, 5 years. That's tech that's 300 years more advanced than we currently have on Earth. The sea people don't have access to them. The DUMS bases don't have access to them. That's off-world technology. Med beds are not in healing centers at this time.
And they don't like the name med beds because
No.
they're high technology frequency mechanisms.
It kind
They're
of
not-
implies the old technology.
I
the
know, that's what
old
they know.
Western
They're
type
like, that's
thing.
not the name.
Yeah,
That's not
they
what
need
they're
to come up with
called.
a better name. Yeah.
Well,
And
there is a
I
name.
have to wonder if our frequency goes up and we're going to the next dimension. I thought we were able to heal ourselves. Why would we need a med
Exactly.
bed?
Yeah, you have a different body. You have a light body. You don't take this physical 3D meat suit to 5D. You have a different body up there. And those med beds, they have a name, holographic medical pods. That's what Planetary Corp calls them on Mars, because they are the manufacturers of them. But they don't want to give this to Earth. They're not going to sell you med beds. They're not going to give you med beds. They're not going to hand over their technology, which is the holographic medical pods. It runs on plasma and crystalline frequencies. It's no longer
Boy, they don't play
lasers.
nice.
So this
Yeah.
would be a being that can get near these beds because they're light and frequency. These beings are. So they're saying, Jen. So that's why they have the coating around the eye and everything. They're huge, massive energy. So these are about the beings that get close to those for when those machines are turned on. They're not, and we're talking about different technologies and different dimensions, but I'm just telling you what they showed me.
Mhm.
So light goes through these beings, frequency goes through these beings, things are coded. So
And
Well, they
somebody
were
asked,
saying-
yeah,
I'm
somebody
sorry, go
asked
ahead.
if I'm a super soldier. No, I'm not a super soldier. I'm a cybernetics technician. That's what I did in Planetary Corp. I am not a soldier out there doing missions in the field. No, I don't do that. I never did on Mars. So, but I did use the holographic medical pods to put super soldiers in them to heal them. So people just think I'm a super soldier, but I'm not.
okay.
So I'm kind of looking through the questions to see if there's something else. I wanted to ask you the other thing. I just thought of it. There was some information put out that talked about the event, and it said that a portal was going to open up in Sedona, and ships were would be coming in, and it would be used I guess for, galactically. Do you get anything on that? Is that
I have information on that because of the pyramids. The ships go over the pyramids for the energy that's above those, which goes to the ley lines. I mean, there's a whole area. So it depends on what they're doing above. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what that opening is because they're getting, I would say, rejuvenated with the energy through the pyramids, you know? So
okay?
I would be looking for pyramids. I don't know if you have any pyramids in Arizona, but
Oh,
and the
there's a
ley
heck of a
lines.
lot of vortexes and energy centers in
Yeah.
Sedona.
So I don't
A
know
lot
in
of
that
them.
way. I can just tell
Very
you what I've
strong.
seen with the pyramids and the ley lines and the ships being above that.
I have not heard about the Arizona event. What I can tell you about the event is that we're not getting a solar flash anytime soon because that would physically burn our bodies. We are not at diamond frequency yet. We're being crystalline right now. So, no, solar flashes are not going to hit us. It's not going to upgrade us to 5D. We're going in natural organic evolution into crystalline and diamond forms with our bodies evolving towards that. It's not going to be the solar flash magically doing that to us. So that's not how it's going to happen. Jenny, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, when I hear that solar flash, they're like, wrong idea, wrong idea, wrong idea. And I'm like, oh, tell me about it. It's like consistency of energy. And like she just said, something like the way they're describing it, it would be self-combustion right away. Your flesh and bone body cannot handle that frequency.
A solar
So,
flash.
yeah.
Sorry, folks.
It would be flash
Yeah,
you
it
all
would
right.
be bye. Bye,
Yeah.
flash.
It would be a hot flash burning your body.
There
I
you go.
mean, I don't mind leaving and exiting this physical body. If that happened, I would go elsewhere and just be something else. I mean, but I don't want that to happen to trillions and billions of people on Earth. Like to buy into the idea that you escape Earth and upgrade to 5D through a solar flash. That is not mechanically how it works. That is,
It's also too easy.
yeah,
In
it's
a
an
way,
easy.
it doesn't. It says, "Oh, I don't have to do anything. I just wait until the solar flash, and
Yeah, then we're done. It's like,
the
okay,
flash to get upgraded.
great,
Everything will be
good,
good."
bye.
Well,
Another little myth that people are spreading around town.
Fear,
Of,
fear, fear.
oh yeah, that's a great one. That's why I wear this and I tell people to make somebody smile and be nice. Random acts of kindness do wonders. I mean, you can make a person's day if everybody did that to somebody or as many people as they could. Can you imagine how quickly things could change?
yeah, and just be true to yourself. Be true to love, to kindness, compassion. Don't give in into these fads and making all of these people out there on the internet gurus. They're all having their own experiences through their own soul filter lens. Stay true to yourself. Learn your own discernment to tell the truth. What's truth, what's not to you. Don't just buy into whatever somebody's saying, because that's their truth, maybe not our truth.
That's why I do make it clear. I have a statement in the description about people that I have on as guests. I don't necessarily buy into everything that everybody says, but I'll still have them on. I'm still interested in what they have to say and what they know and what I can learn from it and what the audience can learn from it as well. Because I try to bring things that I think people want to know. And this is a lot. This is great what you guys are sharing because we're getting a lot of misinformation out there again.
Oh,
Yeah.
information is all interesting. How you interpret it and use it and work with it, it's up to you, because it's a
Yep.
frequency, it's knowledge. Is it your knowledge? Is it my knowledge? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, take it in or don't take it in. It's a frequency.
It was like somebody said too, knowledge is power, but it's only power if you act on the knowledge.
Right. Or do the work.
Yeah.
And this is where I think it's funny how, and just for an example of what I do, remote viewing, all that stuff, what it entails. Okay, so just imagine working 60 hours a week, okay, all the time. You don't stop until things are accomplished. We don't have time. I'm not talking about, a lot of people don't have time to do a video every day. There's this impossible way of the work that we have to put in to be doing a video every day. I would be dead
Well,
on
I'm
the
gonna
field.
have to tell you that it's a lot of work to put in videos
I know it
every day.
is.
I can't even do every day. I
But I'm
do
talking about the
probably two,
ones who
three.
do the video and then they say they're saving the whole earth. Let me tell you, I've done a video 3-4 weeks ago. I just can't, I don't have the time. We don't have the time. And that's the thing. I'm just saying there's only one of you. And so you do what you can that day to get the message out. But I'm saying these people that have it repeatedly every day, how do you have time? How do you have time to do it every day? I don't know. And save the galaxy. How does that happen?
Well, I don't know how some people write dozens of books, have videos, like you said, almost daily or even a few times a week, and write articles and all kinds of stuff. And I'm going, oh my God, how do they do it? I guess downloads is part of it, but
It's hard. I'm telling you, it's not easy. And that's why I'm like, I don't know what, where you have channels that have 2 or 3 million. I don't know what I would do. It's too much. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
speaking from a point of having a lot of info in your head, I had Neuralink implants in my brain where they could download instantly any information that I wanted from them. And that's nanotechnology. I had that in my brain and I got rid of it because it malfunctioned and leaked nanoparticle gold into my left side of my brain, made my brain swell up, and I almost died from it. So I did psychic surgery to remove all 4 of them. But the thing is, the way the information is downloaded, I don't have the implants, but the way they taught my brain to download things, that still continues. I have more info in my brain than I want or need, but it keeps getting downloaded. So I write it down. I put it in audio files, videos, in books, in notes, and I just file it away because my brain still keeps doing this on a subconscious level. I'm like an Akashic record, downloading info all the time. I'm connected to the universe of universal information and energy. Do I want to be dialed in 24/7? Not really, but that's the ability I have. That's what the Neuralink implants amplified when I was in the SSP. So I was constantly working 60 hours in the lab. No life, no peace, no nothing. I was fascinated by genetics, by the DNA, by the information. That's what attracted me to that program. That's how they lured me in. So now, no implants, never again. No, thank you. Natural, organic, that's the way to go.
yes, well, and people are getting, well, I better be careful what I say. They are, getting nanotech when they do the
Yeah,
thing.
they
So,
get the J.
yeah. So that's not good at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to stay healthy, drink lots of good, healthy water, a gallon of water a day. Yeah, I have a huge bottle of water, just clean, filtered water to hydrate your body, to keep it detoxifying. Activated charcoal is good for the body. Clean food, organic food, meditation, exercise, positive thought processes, positive thinking, going to bed on time, getting enough sleep. There's ways of taking care of yourself and not catching something. Having enough vitamin D in your body, vitamin B12 complex, vitamin C organically, naturally through lemon water with lemon juice. That's how you keep these viruses out of your
That's
body.
alkalinizing, and that has a
Yes.
wonderful effect.
Apple
Exactly.
cider vinegar. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. You want to
Yes.
clean your body in seconds? That does it.
I did it
I'm
for 2
telling
years.
you, detoxification instantly.
I did it for 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it works
So,
good.
quite a long time ago, but now I use
So
some other things. But I think people need to detox daily. We're constantly exposed to stuff. in
Yeah,
some capacity.
some people drink peroxide, hydrogen peroxide with water. It tastes disgusting. Yes, it kills bacteria, but it also can give you heartburn. So,
There's baking soda,
yes,
putting but it should be Red Mill organic
yeah,
type baking soda is a great way to alkalinize, and people are very acidic. I don't know if you
yeah,
know, but I have a history of a nutrition. I have a nutrition background. That was what my career. That's why I haven't been able to study metaphysical things and spiritual things and all that all this time. I was always studying nutrition, but I've started moving in that direction in the last 10 years.
yeah. I mean, I eat the same food every day, what my body loves to eat organically, like organic salad, vegetables, light meat. I do not eat beef. I do not eat jerky. I do not eat pork. Those are hard meats, red meat.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
If you must eat meat, poultry, turkey, chicken. Don't eat beef, pork. Those are, you're not going to go well to the bathroom after that. Those are heavy meats.
Okay,
I
I'll have
don't,
to say something about that because I am a beef farmer.
Okay.
Okay. So, and I
I was
just,
married to a cowboy, so I can
yeah, I
I can
had
relate.
to process a big one. And you see at the grocery store, you look at ground beef and it's light pink. I'm going to tell you this. And they water it
Yes.
down. It's just don't eat that. And I'm telling you, if you had to eat ground beef, go to a natural farmer because if it's not blood red, and it has a lot of fat, you should not be eating that at all. And the more red it is, the better quality you're going to get. I'm just giving you advice on the ones who eat beef, but the ones who don't buy the pink meat because you're going to get sick.
Well,
yep,
it's just a bad idea to buy your meat from the store anyway. I mean, it's
Yes.
better to find a local farm. My parents did that way back 50 years ago. Would buy a quarter of a beef or half a beef or whatever for the family, depending on how many of us kids were there at the time. And
Well, I'm trying to
grass
fit.
fed is the best, and organically grown too, because they add all kinds of hormones and crap to beef too, as they do to chickens. You got to be careful with
Yep.
that too. You really need to, whatever you're eating,
yeah,
Right.
you really should have it be as organic and
yeah.
close to the farm as possible.
Yeah, mine is organic, free range chicken and turkey. That is the two types of meat that I will only eat.
You
Farmers
won't eat
market,
steak? No steak?
no steak. No, no,
Oh
no.
my gosh,
No
steak.
steak. Well, for my type
I
of
gave it up for a
metabolism,
long time.
yeah,
Ugh.
and so did I. No hot dogs or sausages for this girl because it slows down my metabolism, and then I have a hard time going to the bathroom. It constipates the body. So no heavy meats for me. But again, if you must, like, what Jenny said,
Very small amounts.
very small amounts and organic as best as you can. Same with vegetables and fruits. Don't buy the stuff that's looking extra big and hunky
It's probably
because
GMO. Yeah.
exactly, it's overgrown. Better it's small sized, medium sized, looks good, not huge, because huge is mostly GMO.
This is where I tell people, if you can find a farmer's market, buy from your local farmers. We need to support our local farmers, including our ranchers, because to get the food back to being more pure. And get them to stop using all the hormones, all the antibiotics, all with the thought in mind to make more money, and then feed them out on 3 months on corn mush, GMO corn. And that's what you're getting at the store.
Yes.
I don't know
Agreed.
if people realize that, but they feed them out for 3 months in a feedlot. Most of the cattle or beef that you get in the store. This is why you need to get it from a local farmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I
Jenny.
actually have 300 pounds of beef in my truck right now.
Oh my goodness.
It's that time of year.
Well, we're at an hour and a half, ladies. I don't know if you have any. I don't like to go too long. People lose interest, and I'd rather do another show.
Yeah, no, we're good. I think we're
Okay.
good.
I would love to have you guys on again. This has been very exciting. If you would want to do that, we'll set it up. I just think it's extremely informative, and I'd love to have you back. So, and I'm sure the audience would too. So,
Awesome.
any final words? Who wants to start? Go ahead, Ellen.
Oh, I'll start. Be genuine to
Ah.
yourself, love yourself, be truthful to yourself, live in your authentic self and honesty, and look for your soul happiness. Balance, ground, balance, meditation, sing, music, dance, whatever makes you happy. Do your hobbies, even work. Whatever makes you happy in work, do that. Don't be stuck in the 3D matrix doing the same thing if it's boring to you. Try new things, have fun, laugh, smile, enjoy, love each other, be kind and compassionate to each other. And I could be found at Messages from a Star Traveler. That's my website, and Awakening Cosmic Reality Show YouTube channel.
Okay. I know I have your website in the description, and maybe we can get your YouTube channel on there too.
Mhm.
So, okay, Jenny, your turn.
So the only thing, like I always end with the fact that you have the capability yourself, and you don't need anybody to connect with source. You don't need the church anymore. You don't need society no more. It's you, your vessel, and prime. Access it, develop it, use it. You have the capability.
Yes, you do. And I have to tell people, I have noticed in it a much stronger connection, I would say, in the recent past. For some reason, I don't know if it's in the energetics or whatever, but anyway, I love it. It's wonderful, and I'd encourage everybody to do it. And I have to say this again, please. Every day, I'm going to tell you every show, make it your mission to make somebody smile every day. Um, do a random act of kindness, just smiling at somebody. It doesn't cost anything. And it raises people's vibration, and it raises your vibration because they will show gratitude afterwards. I mean, you might run into someone that's, a little off or whatever, but, just ignore that. That can happen. They wonder what, it's just funny. But anyway, make somebody smile. It's important. Raise their vibration, raise your frequency, and get the information you need, and discern from your heart. Your heart is your saving grace with the times ahead. So, with that, I will close this off, and thank you, ladies, so much. Thank you, listening audience, and we'll see you again sometime soon.